So, at what point should we be having this conversation? That Alabama is profiting off of essentially slavery in their prisons. Yes, that's right. Best Western, Bama Budweiser, Burger King, McDonald's. They're just some of the 500 businesses that are using inmate labor in the state of Alabama to rake in big profits for themselves and the state of Alabama. And that's because the state siphons off 40% on top of all the wages that these people make, which is usually minimum wage, no matter what their experience is, what the job is, how dangerous it is, which we'll come back to in a minute. Businesses themselves get huge tax credits per inmate that they bring in to work in their facilities or their business, whatever it is. And it's more than what you think, right? It's not just in Alabama. This goes way outside of Alabama. Trader Joe's, Cargo, McDonald's. It's also a lot of third-party suppliers, right? Ford, Toyota, Nissan, Kia, Volvo, Chrysler, and Hyundai, General Motors. They all receive parts from factories that hire these inmates as labor. And it gets worse when you dig into it. There is a huge lawsuit that is going on against the state of Alabama, and some of the things that the prisoners, the inmates, are alleging that are going on with these work programs are horrific. Many claim that they are basically punished if they do not accept the work placements, no matter how dangerous it is, no matter how low the pay is, no matter how screwed over they're getting. If they don't accept the work, then they could be in higher security prisons. They may get visits and contact taken away from their families. They may find their time there extended. And surprise, surprise, it affects disproportionately black inmates in Alabama. And these individuals can be forced to work for free inside of these facilities, doing hard labor, doing laundry, doing all kinds of stuff. Because these inmates are not classed as traditional employees, they don't receive the same protections or rights as other employees. And because the 13th Amendment essentially legalizes slavery for criminals, as you can see in the story here of a essentially transport crash that claimed the lives of some inmates. It's also incredibly dangerous. There's basically no oversight. Dangerous individuals are allowed to take positions that they should not have access to, and these inmates can also be forced to do really dangerous jobs. There were inmates who were killed, and there was a 21-year-old, if you go and read this story, who got struck on the side of the road. A 21-year-old kid killed instantly on a work release program. It's absolutely horrific. And this report from AP, like they've had questionable moments in the last handful of years, but this is a really, really, really excellent report, an excellent piece of investigative journalism, and they have done the work here. They're showing you the top employers in Alabama who take on this inmate labor and potentially use and abuse the system. And they also, like, the inmates are charged all kinds of ridiculous fees on top of this. So not only do they have 40% of their wages taken right off the top to go straight to the state, they're also charged $5 a day for the rides that they have to get to and from the jobs that they have. And then they're charged $15 a month for laundry, all kinds of little tiny ridiculous fees. And what's really crazy is the way Alabama runs this, it doesn't matter what the crime is that you've done. It only matters what you have behaved like in prison, which is a complaint that the inmates have, because these inmates who are going out and genuinely trying to work these jobs, get a new footing in life, get themselves back out into the world, they say they're being put in compromising positions with dangerous inmates, right? Who might have good behavior behind bars, but who are really malicious, dangerous, violent, coercive, like whatever it is, once they are out of supervision. Because once they're in the workplace, they're not supervised, you guys. It's a complete mess. This was a huge report, right, where AP went through 83,000 pages of data. They tracked years and years and years of like the state's transaction with these private companies that are using inmates in these work release programs. At least 500 private businesses between 2018 and mid-March 2024 in the state of Alabama. They're also working like in the home of the governor and in country clubs. How absurd is that? They're like, the state of Alabama is using inmates to go and work in private country clubs and private homes of rich people. What does that sound like? There is also those within this system who claim that parole is being denied, essentially. This is Arthur Tomey, and he is one of the ones involved in the lawsuit, and he essentially said, like, we're nonviolent, we're allowed to go out in the world and not be supervised, yet when we come up for parole, it gets denied, so then we have to stay here and keep working, keep benefiting the state. So very, very important read. Go and read this on the Associated Press's website. It is not just happening in Alabama. This is happening all over America. So please go and give this a read.